I'm Trevor Turner. Once lost, now living on purpose. I know what it's like to feel locked out of your own potential. This show is for the ones who are ready to take their power back and write a new story 1 hour at a time. You can do it. You can do anything, and you don't need permission. That's why I started the free hour, to give people the space to change their story, to remind them you are not your past, you are not your mistakes, you are not done, you are powerful. You can find freedom, you can find yourself, and you decide what happens next. And we're back. Man, it's felt like forever since I recorded one of these videos. It's felt like forever, like a lifetime ago that I've been in front of this camera, talking to you guys about the things that we've been talking about. Man, it's just crazy. This next coming up weekend, I'm gonna put out, some more stuff, man, but we're back to it. It's like a whole bunch of life-changing stuff has been going on with me. I'm gonna let you guys in on all of it. But for right now, let's get back to this. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the free hour. It's your boy Trevor Turner, and we're back with another video. We are back with another episode in our free hour ABCs, the ABCs of Tree. And today we are in our mindfulness series, where we discuss ways to get to mindfulness, intentionality, where we get to ways to throwing ourselves fully into what it is that we are trying to do with our lives, without distractions, without the future, without the past. It's about being present in the present, so that we can give ourselves the gift of a future that we have tailored for ourselves. And today we're on the letter I. Have you ever felt like you were physically present but mentally elsewhere entirely? The letter I stands for immersion. One of the common experiences that we got, especially living in the type of world that we live in now, where we have 24/7 access to things like social media, where we are working longer hours, where we are working for less pay, where we have to deal with doing more tasks at work for the less pay. We have to deal with the longer hours. We have to deal with less time that we have to do the things for ourselves. So a lot of times what we have to deal with is being distracted. A lot of times what we have to deal with is multitasking, trying to find any little bit of time where we are able to do the things that we want to do, where we are able to chase our own goals, where we are able to try and start our own businesses and the things that we are trying to do for ourselves. That is the common experience, but I'm here to tell you that there is a better way to do it. One of the things that happened with me when I was able to get myself away from trying to multitask, away from trying to focus on the things that nagged at me, the things that bothered me from the past, worrying about the future, when I was able to fully immerse myself in what I had to do, it really changed my trajectory. It really kind of threw everything into overdrive. It's a very simple concept, and we're going to dive right into it. When I first started practicing mindfulness, the idea of being fully immersed in anything seemed impossible. My mind was always elsewhere, caught up in regrets from yesterday or anxiety about tomorrow, but immersion changed everything for me. What does it truly mean to immerse yourself in a moment? Immersion means just something as simple as engaging fully, mindfully, and intentionally in what you are doing in the present moment, without distractions and without judgment. This builds off of the things that we've been talking about before, like grounding and harmony, because it is we have to get to that state to begin to immerse ourselves into these things. Grounding ourselves in the present moment, finding harmony regardless of what chaos is going on outside of us, is how we get to being able to immerse ourselves. One of the things that we got to think about is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? It starts with physiological needs, safety and security, relationship needs, connection. It starts with esteem before you get to things like self-actualization. One of the things that we need to learn how to do is we need to learn how to sift out all of these worries when we don't have all of those things fully perfect or fully where we want them to be, so that we could get to a higher level of ourselves. Because when we get to that higher level and we get into that flow, that's where we are able to thrive and actually start to put these things together. And I know it seems counterintuitive to try and put this before the foundation, but the problem is that we live in a society today. We live in circumstances today where you may have not learned how to fully build your foundation the right way, the way that you want it to go. You may be living on survival mode now. You may be living check to check. You may be one missed paycheck away from having no roof over your head, from your kids not being able to eat, from things not going exactly the way you want them to go, to things going terribly. So we need to learn how to get to the point where we can ground ourselves in the present moment, realize that this is what we got to start with, gain some harmony within ourselves. Go back to my my previous videos to do that, to gain some harmonies within ourselves so that we can stay calm in the midst of all of these storms in our lives, and then fully immerse ourselves in rebuilding our future. Dr. Jon Kabat-Zinn, I talk about him a lot, founder of mindfulness-based stress reduction. Mindfulness is about being fully awake in our lives. His extensive research shows immersion, which is focused mindfulness, reduces stress, reduces anxiety, and boosts overall emotional health. When we are able to fully immerse ourselves, and one of the things I talk about a lot on the free hour is doing things that are going to make our lives better. A lot of times what we do with our free time is nothing. We get nothing time. Some people recover with social time, some people recover with private time, some people recover with physical activity, but a lot of what's going on today, because we are so burnt out, we are so worried, we're so anxious, that when we get any free time, when we get any time off the clock, when we get any time away from our kids, when we get any time to ourselves, we spend it on nothing time. And unless you are geared to recover from nothing time, you are not recovering. You are not building the life that you want. You are not doing what is going to be something that is aiming at the goals that you want. And they could be something as simple as getting a trade. They could be something as simple as going back to school. It could be something as simple as getting a new career in a similar type of field, going to a new job but that requires a different certification that you feel like you just don't have the time to do. It could be something as simple as starting your own trades business, becoming a plumber, becoming an electrician, welder, anything like those things. Because we are using the nothing time to try to regain some type of control on our lives. But you have to take that first step, and immersion is going to help you do that. So why should immersion matter to you personally? Because immersion is that first step, like I just said. It gives you increased emotional resilience. It gives you better focus and clarity, and not only in work and relationships, but in the things that you are trying to do. It gives you improved productivity by reducing multitasking and distractions. It gives you also reduced anxiety and stress through presence and awareness. A Harvard study by psychologists Killingsworth and Gilbert found that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they're doing, significantly lowering happiness and productivity. Immersion in the present directly boosts happiness. Now let me give it to you the way that I know how to give it to you. When I was trying to change my life, when I was trying to change my mindset, when I was trying to change my habits, change my thoughts, change my beliefs about everything, the way that I looked at everything, I was constantly worried about the past. I was constantly worried about what I could have done differently, how I could maneuver it a little bit better, how I could have avoided this, or maybe taken a different turn, or maybe not called that person that I called that day. I was constantly thinking about somewhere else. When I was trying to crack open a book, when I was trying to learn something for myself, I would find myself going into, damn, what am I going to do when I get out of here? How am I going to maneuver? What am I going to go back to? Where am I going to live? How am I going to survive? I was constantly, and I think I was at more than 47% of my time, not focusing on what I was doing, because I was in a place that I really, really wanted to mentally escape. Badly, I wanted to be out of there mentally. I knew that I had to be there physically, but mentally I was like, man, I can get out of here. If I just don't focus on what it is that I'm doing, if I escape the present, if I reminisce on the past, if I plan for the future, and all of these different things, immersion is what helped me fight that uphill battle. Immersion is what helped me battle against the tide. It is what helped me go against the waves of all this emotion that I was feeling. Immersion in what I was doing helped me to get to the top and get me over those hurdles and through those obstacles. Every time that my mind wanted to go back to, nah, man, you don't need to change. You had it all figured out. You just got to avoid this type of thing. You can go back to what you was doing. You just got to do it a little bit differently. Immersion is what helped me to realize, like, no, that never worked for me before. Those results were never what I wanted before. The places those activities, those beliefs, those thoughts, those behaviors took me was never where I wanted it to go. But because I was comfortable with it, because it was easier, because I knew about it. It wasn't me trying to grope through the dark, trying to find a new path. It was something that I knew already. I knew it like the front of my hand and the back of my hand. I knew it better than I knew how I looked in the mirror. The things that I had been spending my entire life on. Immersion is how I got out of that. Immersion is how I got into something new. Immersion is how I flipped my life around. And that is why I think it's important for people to think about immersion. Like, we can do all this mindfulness stuff. We can wake up, we can meditate, we can start our day the way we want to. We can go out about it with gratitude. We can be fully focused and mindful. We can mindfully wash dishes. We can mindfully walk. We can do all of those things and fully get into the present and learn acceptance of our lives. That gains us grounding. It gains us harmony. But if you are trying to switch some things in your life and you've been doing things a certain way for so long, you're going to have to immerse yourself in the new. Because the old is going to constantly be in your mind, because that's what you know. That's what's familiar. You've carved those neural pathways out. You've learned adaptive behaviors to survive in the society that we live in. If you want to learn new behaviors to thrive, it's going to feel counterintuitive. And the only way to battle past that and battle past the awkwardness of it and the difficulty of it is immersion. So how can you start immersing yourself right now, today? Strategy 1, single tasking. Actively choose one task, commit your full attention to it. When I started single tasking, my productivity and quality of my work improved dramatically. One of the things that I used to pride myself on was the ability to multitask. I could write a JSA while I was setting up my work site, while communicating and setting up all my equipment. I could do all of those things, right? I could, answer emails, answer texts, make phone calls while still writing up reports and still doing all these things and doing data tracking. I could do all of those things, right? I thought I could do all of those things. But one of the things that happened is when I was trying to do something new with my life, and I tried to take that same bullshit view of multitasking in there with me, I tripped and I stumbled and my productivity wasn't where I wanted to be. And I found something. We don't actually multitask. We don't actually do multiple tasks at the same time to the same level of completion. What we do is we just switch back and forth really quick. And what happens is that when you single task, that one task that you fully, or that one thing, that one theme, that one group of things that you fully devote your attention to, it just grows so much exponentially quicker. You get done with those things so much quicker. Like if you are trying to devote yourself to getting a control on your emotions and your emotional intelligence, and you go and you're dealing with that, and you're trying to at the same time deal with calls and texts and emails from your boss after hours, you are not going to be able to get that handle on your emotional intelligence. If you were trying to deal with your kids and then deal with work, you're going to realize that one of those things is going to be neglected, even though you feel like you're not necessarily neglecting it. If you were trying to juggle, eventually you're going to drop stuff. Human beings are not actually designed to multitask, single task. I know I've talked about time blocking. I know I've talked about putting things in your calendar. I know I've talked about batching, where you get groups of similar tasks. I just want you now, when you get off work, after you get home, if you got a person who is in the habit of trying to scroll while trying to do the research for your business that you are trying to start so you can get out of the hell that is the rat race of your company, stop scrolling. Do the research. Do it for 30 minutes. Do it for 20 minutes. Immerse yourself in the things that you are trying to do to build yourself and build your future in the same way that if you were working a job and they forced you to put your phone in a locker, do it in that same way. Deny yourself those things so that you can fully focus the way that a boss would force you to deny yourself so that you can focus on making money for them. Mindful observation strategy 2. Choose a daily activity like eating, walking, and fully immerse yourself in the sensory experiences. This is practice. This is practice. For me, mindful eating, it changed my relationship with food. It changed my relationship with eating because if I get on autopilot or if I have a screen in front of me or if I even have a book in front of me, right? I'm trying to, load up all of these beneficial tasks. Like I might have some good calming music playing, some good meditative music playing. I might have a book that's like a nonfiction, really self-help book that really helps me out all the time, but I'm trying to eat at the same time and I'm not mindfully doing any of those 3 tasks. What happens is that my relationship with eating became unhealthy because it was a side thing. I didn't enjoy the food. I didn't feel satiated. I didn't feel full. I felt like I needed more. I felt like I didn't even get to eat. Now when I make my food and I put it on the plate, I have it in front of me, I enjoy it. Because, I've gotten more into cooking and things like that. So I enjoy the smell of it. I enjoy the feel of it. Pause. I enjoy the taste of it, the seasonings. I enjoy all of those things. And I do those things in such a way that I'm able to feel myself. I'm able to feel myself getting satisfied. I'm able to feel myself getting full without having the distraction of, am I getting enough of this book? Am I getting enough of this meditative music? Am I calming myself enough? Am I resetting myself enough? Am I cleansing myself enough? No, right now I'm eating. Right now I'm watering the grass. Right now I'm walking down the street. One of the things I would even say is that Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of said it best when he was talking about how you can be in the gym like this and you can be working out. And there were guys that were in there working out 3-4 hours a day like he was, and they didn't look the same way he was because they were just doing this. They were thinking about everything they were going to do after they got out of the gym. They were thinking about everything that happened on the way to the gym, instead of thinking about what it was they were doing in the moment. They weren't mindful, they weren't immersed in what they were doing, and so they weren't getting the same results that the other people who were doing. You can take that and apply that to anything that you are trying to do with your life. It can change your relationship with what you're doing. If you mindfully get dressed in the morning, if you mindfully pick out your clothes and you fully engross yourself in the task of like getting yourself together, doing something with your hair, doing something with your face, doing something with your lotion, doing something with that, it will change your relationship with how you feel about yourself and your appearance in that moment. It will change how you feel about yourself all day. I intentionally got dressed. I look the part today. And I know I looked the part today because I didn't just throw something on while I was trying to listen to a podcast, while I was trying to answer a phone call from somebody, while I was trying to rush and get other people ready too. I took 15 minutes and I mindfully got dressed. And I might have even set myself up for success the night before by choosing what I was going to wear. Mindfully putting everything on so that I know that it fits right. I know that it works with me. I know that this is something that I picked out. It wasn't just something that was rushed. And I mindfully observed it. Strategy 3, active listening. Immerse yourself fully in conversations, listening to understand rather than respond. This transformed my relationships profoundly. Active listening is not listening so that you can figure out what to say and respond in arguments. Active listening is taking in everything that this person is trying to communicate with you. And you have to realize that there are so many different communication styles. There's proximity, there's body language, there's nonverbal, there's appearance, there's verbal, there is written, There's sign language. There are so many different types of communication that somebody could be giving you in any different moment. The distance that they choose to stand from you communicates something. The way that they move their hands when they're talking to you communicates something. Their facial expression communicates something. The way that they look when they chose to talk to you communicates something. Their body language, the way that they stand, their posture, it communicates something. And if you are active listening, you can take all of these things in. You can start to notice things about the people that you interact with. You can start to notice more things about the people you're in relationships with. And then on top of that, you can add reflective listening. Now, reflective listening is something that helps the person know that you are fully taking in what they're saying, because you reflect back what you think they are giving you. Reflective listening has gotten me through so many misunderstandings. It helped me realize that I needed to do a lot of work on listening, because when somebody told me something, when somebody gave me something, and then I reflected back what I thought that they were giving me, and they told me, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. That's not how I feel about it. That's not what I was trying to tell you. It helped me through so many different potential conflicts. It helped me get to the fact that people were checking up on me and not questioning me. There's a distinction, such a small distinction there, but it helped me, because that's one of my triggers. I don't like people questioning me. I don't like people looking over my shoulder. And the people who I thought were questioning me were really just checking up on me. But because I didn't actively listen, because I wasn't reflective listening, because I wasn't getting the full jug, the full understanding, I wasn't realizing that these people were there for me and have my best interests at heart. When I started doing that, it changed my relationship with those people like that. And in such a huge way. Section 4. So let's talk about overcoming barriers to immersion. So what if immersion feels impossible or too difficult? And the reason I say it might feel impossible or too difficult is because a lot of us nowadays, we struggle with anxiety. We have busy schedules that require habitual multitasking. We have fallen into the habit of multitasking just to make it through our days, just to get through the deadlines that our bosses give us. So we think, hey, it works here, we're getting paid for it, we're getting, justified for it by these paychecks. People are coming and praising us. Hey, thanks for getting all 3 of these projects done at the same time. So we habitually multitask, and we do those same things at home with what we're trying to build. We're worried about too much. We're worried about everything going wrong. We're worried about failure and the reason we are is because of the way that we are taught, the way that we are brought up, the way that our school shapes us and teaches us. It's not our fault that we have these anxieties, but it is our responsibility to deal with them in the right way. Immersion can help us deal with those things, because the thing about it is this, and I use the example of these videos, I use the example of my channel all the time, because all I am responsible for, my worth and my value when it comes to this channel, is whether I make the videos. It's whether I spend the time creating and crafting the outlines to the best of my ability. It's whether I fill in the blanks with my own personal experiences to the best of my ability. It's when I get in front of this camera that I try my best not to stutter. I try my best to talk clearly. I try my best to give you guys the full measure of everything that I've learned when it comes to this subject. I try my best to edit it up and make it look decent, and then I upload it when I'm supposed to. That is all that I am responsible for. That is all that I can pull my worth from. But the problem is this, is that we are in a society now where we are not pulling our worth from the effort that we put in. We are not pulling our worth from the things that we do, because that's all we can control. We are putting our worth into the result that somebody else gives us, the feedback that someone else gives us. This video may not be for you. You may not need this video. You may not understand this video. But because of the way that we are raised, especially now in schools, most of us would take our worth from somebody who doesn't even need to hear what I'm talking about, but stumbles across one of my shorts and says, hey, I already know this. Damn, now I'm a failure. Or I put my best into something and a teacher told me it wasn't good enough. A teacher told me that I wasn't good at this subject, so I'll never amount to anything, even though it's something that I don't want to do with my life. I'm worthless. Feedback. The results of people that we've never met on the internet. I didn't get no likes on this picture. I must be unattractive. I didn't get no likes on my reel. I must not be funny. And it's not about waiting on the results to come and pulling your worth from the results. Because I've been doing this stuff for over a year. It's grown the way it's grown. It's reached the people that it's reached. I don't pull my worth from whether or not it's reached anybody. I don't pull my worth from whether or not it's growing to a certain extent. I pull my worth from the fact that I am putting the stuff that I am putting into it to the best of my abilities. That's what I put my worth into. The anxiety comes from the fact that we are now in a society where we rely so much on what other people say or what other people see or what other people react to or how other people validate us, that that is where we pull our worth from, and that is where we get our anxieties from. And immersion will help us break that. When you fully throw yourself into something, when you get into the flow state of something, when you find something that it is that you love and that you are trying to build and that you are trying to get to and that you are good at and that you just do it so naturally, and you're able to pull your worth from that because you're fully immersed in it and you just feel like everything in you just got poured out onto it. We'll talk later in a later video about how to now separate ourselves from whether or not people fuck with it. Because we don't control those people. We don't control what they do. We only control what we put into anything. Some simple solutions that I found: short breaks for some breathing. One of the things that I do when I get into wanting to scroll on my phone is I put the phone down, I just take my quick 4 breaths, and I go back to what it is that I was doing. I also time block my things in a way to where I have my 45 minutes of work, I have my 15-minute break. It makes me feel accomplished. It makes me feel like I've dived in, but it also makes it to where I have to dive in for these 45 minutes. And then what happened is that I was able to gradually increase my mindfulness over time. It was like a muscle. It was like anything else. You start with 5 push-ups, you end up to 10 push-ups, you go up to 25 push-ups, now you do 50 in a set. Now you do 100 in a set. Now you do 100 little half ones or whatever, and they start getting more full range of motion until you do 100 full in a set every morning, and that's your daily thing. Then you go to the squats, and then you do the other things. And what happens is this, is like you can start with 15 minutes of mindfully reading something before your mind wanders. You take a quick break and you realize like, hey, I did that 15 minutes. Next day you'll be able to do maybe 16 minutes. Next day you might go back to 14, but the day after that you go up to 20. And then you realize over the course of 6 months you are now able to control your mind and immerse yourself in something for 25 to 30 minutes. No matter what it is, because you got into the habit of, like, let's say mindfully washing the dishes, mindfully eating, mindfully cooking, to where you're able to fully immerse yourself in all of those experiences. So now when you're doing your market research for the business you want to create, because you mindfully ate for 6 months, because you mindfully walk down the street for 6 months, because you focus on mind-muscle connection for 6 months, now you're able to sit down at that computer. Your phone don't even got to be on do not disturb. It's just face down. You don't even hear the alerts. You don't hear none of that. You just see all this market research coming in, and you're building your business plan, and you've done it for 30 minutes straight, and you've gotten to the zone, and you've fully immersed yourself, and now you have harmony. Everything could be going bad at work, but you're not worried about it right now because you're immersed in what you're trying to be immersed in. You're immersed in trying to build your future for yourself. You could be getting calls and stuff from your boss, even though you told your boss, like, hey, this is my hour that I do things. I'm not an on-call employee. I know you need me to come in because you failed to schedule enough people to cover the shift that's supposed to be covered. But guess what? During this hour, I have stuff that I do. And you're not worried about them calling you because you're grounded in the present. You realize that as soon as your hour is done, you can call them. You can decide if you want to go to work and get that paper. You can decide if you want to tell them to go fuck themselves and do another hour of mindfulness stuff. But the thing about it is this, is that you have grounded yourself. You have gained the harmony. You have used all of the mindfulness tips that we have talked about up till now, and we are able to immerse ourselves in what it is that we are trying to do that is going to build our lives. Because one of the things that we talk about at the beginning of me making this channel is we talked about thinking about the person that you want to become, thinking about what you want your life to look like. And when you focus on that so much, you will start to see things in your daily life that you could do, that you could cut out, that you could add more of, that you could add, that you could subtract, that you could multiply, divide, however you want to say it, that will help you get to that end result. Immersion is how you add those things. Immersion is how you also subtract those things. Okay, you know what? When I first get home, from work, I might take a shower. Like if I work in a hot environment, then after that shower, I need to be studying this. I need to be doing this. I need to be thinking about this. I need to be, studying for my CDL so I can get back into truck driving school. I need to be doing something, right? Because that adds up to that person that I want to become. That adds up to that life that I want to live. That adds up to me taking the vacations yearly that I want to take. That adds up to me being in good shape. That adds up to me becoming this or becoming that or becoming successful, owning my own business, getting that trade. That adds up to all of those things. Instead of scrolling on your phone, instead of putting on Netflix and watching the same shit that you watched a couple months ago, but you want to watch it again because you have so many choices that you don't know what else to watch. Or you even just go down the rabbit hole of like, damn, like I don't even know what to watch, and spend an hour trying to find something before you're like, fuck it, I ain't gonna watch nothing. And then you just go cook some food. Immersion is what helps you get past that. Immersion is what helps solve that stuff. So are you ready to experience the power of immersion for yourself? Remember, single task, mindful observation, active listening. This is what I'm gonna challenge you to do. For 1 week in your 3-hour practice, or even if you're not doing the 3-hour practice and you're just taking these tips, how you want to take them for different areas of your life. For 1 week, choose one daily task to immerse yourself in daily, fully, and see how your relationship with that thing changes. Because over the course of 1 week, your life isn't going to change. Over the course of 1 week, your behaviors aren't necessarily going to change. Your habits aren't necessarily going to change. Your attitudes aren't necessarily going to change. But your relationship with that thing might change. Over the course of 1 week, if you do something, if you work out every single day, instead of texting, instead of scrolling between sets, instead of, like doing all this other stuff on social media or whatever, or trying to record and post or whatever, just have your camera rolling, do your sets fully mindfully, headphones blasting, some motivational stuff that you ain't gonna get too wrapped up in, and just think about every little bit of that motion and mindfully be there with it. Think about the way that it feels when it contracts. Think about the way that it feels when it comes back down and you get that full stretch. Fully engross yourself and immerse yourself in it. Engage with it fully. Eating. Taste every single bite. Everything that you put on that fork and that you put into your mouth, pause, fully taste it. Fully be there with it. Fully be present with it. Fully appreciate it. Every single bite, every little bit of it. Watch how your relationship with food changes. When you're cooking, don't just be seasoning like this and thinking that you need to be doing other stuff and but fully be there with the chicken. The way that if you're seasoning chicken in the bowl, the way that chicken feels in the bowl and it feels in your hands, or if you do one hand with the glove, the way that feels, the way that all these seasonings smell together, the way that everything looks, the colors, and how it becomes so plain and it becomes vibrant. And then think about the way that it all smells when you're cooking it. Think about the sounds of how you're cooking it. Think about the way that the heat and everything, how it kind of washes over you. Think about the different ways that all the seasonings look and how you have to shake them all out differently and how you have to put them differently. Or if you measure, just think about everything. Just be there present with every single part of a task for a week and watch how your relationship with that task changes. And then think about how you can do the same thing when you are trying to build your life to order. Look, we've gotten a lot of news lately. We've seen a lot of things lately about how we know that the people who, if you work for a big company, the people who sign your checks, they don't care about you. You could be let go at any given moment. You need to start immersing yourself in something that is going to change your life and build your life the way that you want it to be built. You have the time because everybody has an hour, and being mindful, immersing yourself into it is how you get to it. It's how you change your attitude. It's how to change the way that you feel. Okay? Tell me how your immersion practice went. Tell me what you tried to do. Tell me what you tried to be fully mindful in. Tell me what you tried to immerse yourself in. Tell me how it went. Tell me how your relationship with it changed. Maybe you immerse yourself in something so fully that you realize you hate it. And you realize it's something that you don't need in your life. It's something that completely goes against everything that in your being, everything in your body and your mind just screamed against this task the entire time that you were fully engaged in it. Even let me know about that. Let me know if you weren't able to do it. Let me know if at the first time you thought this was stupid. But then after a while you were like, you know what? Once I found the right thing to try and do, it actually was like, okay, this made sense. And it felt good. Let me know all of those things. All right? Like I said, man, it's been a minute. I'm so glad to be back to this, man. It's your boy Trevor Turner. And that was, thank you for watching the video. Immersion, the mindfulness series, the ABCs of Tree, the free hour ABCs. Stay tuned, man. We got a lot of stuff coming out, man. I'm gonna start working on a whole bunch of different stuff because I've had a whole bunch of different life-changing events, man. Stay tuned for that 5 hours from now video where I go over all of that stuff. But look, here's what we're gonna be trying to do. We're going to be trying to get a whole lot of other stuff coming out. We're going to be getting a whole lot of other series coming out. My boy Vince is back. We're getting another Parolee Paradise stuff rolling. We're trying to work on the scheduling for that because we don't work in the same place anymore. But here's the thing, man. We back. I'm back. And I hope that you take this journey with me. I hope that you stay on this journey with me. And if you've been taking this journey with me, if you've been on this journey with me from the beginning, there are no words that I can express for how much I appreciate you. So I ain't gonna say nothing. No, I'm just saying, there are no words that I can really say that would express how much I appreciate you. So thank you for being there with me. And like I said, man, this is free hour ABCs. ABCs of Tree, mindfulness, immersion. Let's get it.
Find yourself and you decide what happens next.